If you've been raised by a Chinese parent, you have enjoyed a lot of pain and suffering.
Okay, so that was Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA. And when I heard that line, I laughed. Because honestly, yeah, he's not wrong. See, if you grew up in China, that sentence probably hits a little too close to home. Chinese parents and Western parents raise their kids in very different ways. So today, let me explain how Chinese parents actually teach their kids from someone who lived it. By the way, my name is Jeremy, and on this channel, I share what life in China really feels like from a local's perspective. I'm not a native English speaker, so I'm also making these videos in English to challenge myself and improve. Feel free to correct me in the comment if I make any mistakes. Thank you. Let's get into it. If I had to summarize Chinese parenting in one sentence, that would probably be like this. You can always do better. Growing up, Chinese parents care a lot about effort, not just talent, but effort. It doesn't matter if it's school, homework, sports, you name it. But if you are not doing well, the first response is usually, you did not try hard enough. There is a very common sentence Chinese parents say, if other kids can do it, why can't you? Now, that can be motivating, but let's be honest, it can also be exhausting. From what I've seen in Western families, parents talk a lot more about passion, about confidence, about self-esteem. Chinese parents talk more about results, about discipline, persistence. Not saying one is right and the other is wrong, just very, very different. For many Chinese parents, school is not just important, it's everything. And there is a reason for that. For a long time in China, education was the main way, sometimes the only way, to change your life. If you came from a normal family, studying hard, getting into a good university, that was your best shot. So parents naturally pass that pressure onto their kids. So when I was growing up, my parents cared about grades way more than how I felt about school. I remember hearing this all the time. I'm not pushing you, I'm doing this for your own good. And at the time, I didn't really buy it. But now I'm older, so I kind of get where they were coming from. Another one is probably the hardest thing to explain to Westerners. Chinese parents usually don't say, I love you, I'm proud of you, you did a great job. That's just not how they express love. Instead, love sounds like, did you eat? It's cold out there, wear more clothes. Don't stay up too late. I cut some fruit for you. That doesn't sound emotional, but it is emotional, just in a practical way. Western parents are much more verbal. Chinese parents believe love is shown through actions. Sometimes that makes kids feel unsupported emotionally, but at the same time, you never doubt that your parents care about you. Another big difference is how much emphasis Chinese parents put on obedience. We grow up hearing things like, listen to your parents, don't talk back, respect your teacher. And this one is huge, don't embarrass the family. Now, that idea representing your family is very strong in Chinese culture. It teaches responsibility and self-control, but it can also create pressure, guilt, and fear of failure. In the West, kids are encouraged to be independent very early. Chinese kids are protected more, but also controlled more. Again, pros and cons on both sides. Now, I really want to say this clearly. Chinese parents today are not all the same. Things are changing fast. Younger parents are more open emotionally. more willing to communicate, less obsessed with grades, more supportive of hobby and individuality. But the traditional thinking is still here, especially in smaller cities and older generations. Anyway, China is huge and every family is different. Let me share my own story. So, my dad, he almost never said good job to me. Like, almost never. But he would wake up early to drive me to school, wait outside my classes for hours, never complain, never miss anything important. And at the time, I felt like he was distant. And now I realize that was just his way of loving me. And I think a lot of Chinese kids will understand exactly what I mean. So yeah, Chinese parents can seem strict, controlling, and emotionally distant. But behind that, there's a lot of sacrifice, responsibility, and care. It's just expressed in a very different way from the West. If you are interested in more honest conversations about life in China from someone who actually grew up here, feel free to subscribe. And I'll keep improving my English as I go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.